Screen Rebels started in 2014. How did it start? It started because we wanted to create a platform for screenwriters and actors in London. It was a way to basically create a community and to put writers and actors in the centre. In fact, Rosie was actually the first actor I actually got in touch with about performing in Screen Rebels. Luckily, she said yes. And here we are 4 years later, and we're still friends and collaborators, which is fabulous. The important thing is putting the emphasis on really good writing. We put screenplays through a strenuous process of 4 drafts. We make writers cry and hate me personally, as Rosie can attribute. But in addition to that, it was also about putting on a really good show and creating something which was inclusive for independent filmmakers in London who needed a platform to share their stories in a way where we didn't compromise on the story or their characters. And that's what has led us to today, to being here today with Virgin Money, with our sponsors, so that we can take Screen Rebels to the next step, which is to make films ourselves with production partners.
It's quite a funny story. So I was in a little film that was directed by Lorenzo. He actually wasn't the original director. The original director dropped out after 24 hours, and Lorenzo sort of came in and saved the day. And I was playing like a minor part in that. And he just got in touch with me and said, "Oh, I've got this idea. Like, would you like to come and be a part of it?" And then we went there, and it was at the Proud Archivist in Dalston. And it was just the 4 of us and 4 scripts, and we just read them out like on a music stand, and it was really, really simple. And then it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. And what's great about Screen Rebels is that we've all become a bigger and bigger community. We're all still really involved, and we've just been like making more stuff and making it bigger and making it more sophisticated and filming these amazing like trailers and all of this content. And I think it's just going to get better and better. And now we're sort of transitioning more to screen. I think it's going to like really make an impact.
I've been involved since quite early on, actually. They initially started off with Rosie Frecker and Lorenzo were making a play about the ISIS sort of hostages that were going on. It was called The Choice. And they sort of cast me in that role as the play. And naturally, because they were also involved with Screen Rebels, that's how I sort of made the transition to... that was while it was still going on in sort of the Proud Archivist down in sort of that area of London. And from then I sort of kept really being involved, really. And I saw one of the episodes they were doing. I was an audience to one of them, and it just looked like just fantastic to get involved with. You know, it just looked like everyone was really just the best people were involved. I quickly sort of grabbed onto that. In terms of favourite moment, I mean, it's hard to pick one, I guess. But I think just the sheer collaboration is just really encouraging. Like, you're amongst people who are just, all very, very creative, and but more importantly, they're all very passionate, and they're all very driven people who really just want to make art. And they've got budgets in their mind, of course, because you've got to keep this sort of thing going. But the core of them all is just this love of art and their love of what they're creating. And they give so much opportunity in many ways to so many people who want to get involved with this sort of thing. To this day, they don't sort of keep to the same sort of cliquey bunch. They always are looking for more people to get involved all the time, because that means more work, and that means more sort of scripts to bring alive, because they've got so many amazing pieces of writing that they've got under their belt that they want to get out there. So I suppose, quite a broad sense, that my favourite bit has just been, the very essence of the whole thing, I suppose, really. It's such a valuable thing, especially in this kind of time as well for actors as well. It's very valuable to give them a platform, in a sense. But not only actors, but also directors, producers, and also writers, of course. It's totally invaluable. And I think that the more of this there is, the better for it.
I did a show with Camden Fringe, a play about an alien, and Kai and Lorenzo saw it because it was a two-hander, and the other actor was a friend of theirs, and they invited me to the next the next Screen Rebels, and I just never looked back. I ended up doing all of them. So I did all of their shows last year, and I got to play everything from a tomato to a pirate and a superhero and everything. It was like incredible. Amazing group of people, nice scripts, had the best time. I'm missing it already. I want to go on to something more with them.
Well, I was approached by Screen Rebels to come and speak about the Independent Film Trust, and which is the charity that I run and which supports independent film production in the UK. So I was more than happy to come and talk about what we do, because we have a room full of amazing filmmakers here that I feel like we could probably really work with and help.
Okay, so I was writing at the time and I saw an advert for it. I thought, how amazing! I really want to take out the time to work on my craft. And I thought, what Screen Rebels are doing is brilliant. So I applied, and then I got a call from Lorenzo, and he wanted me to come over and meet them guys. And then that's when I pitched Welcome to the Treatment Plant, the tomato script. And then that's where our journey began. And it's so nice being here today to seeing them guys progressing with their work and having this new chapter.
I've known Alida for a long time. You know who I am. I've been a dodgy villain in 75 films. I've died in every single one. And Alida came, and I was teaching acting at the Actors Centre in Covent Garden, and she came on a couple of the courses. And then I did a music video, and she was one of the producers. And I'm also half Sicilian, so we became great friends. And they're a really lovely bunch of guys. And she just has this amazing ability of bringing people together. And she's an expert at it, even though she does it in a kind of slightly broken English. You're going to miss out the occasional conjunctive. But come and make a party with us. And I go, okay. Do you know what I mean? She's lovely. And Ike, and also all her partners are wonderful as well. So Screen Rebels, you're brilliant.
I originally met Lorenzo through my friend Rosie Frecker, who's also an actor, and we went to drama school together, and we actually did a sort of, I guess, theatre production of one of Lorenzo's screenplays, and then it was a year later that I was involved with the sort of West End performances of his screenplays. Did a couple of them, and then got to know Kai and Alida. But yeah, they're a great bunch, and I've made some really good friends through it, and it's just been great to meet more actors, writers, directors, and to collaborate with them. It's been a really wonderful experience, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Screen Rebels too much, because I've been to one event and I think one play where I thought it was the play was really good, well written, and I'm still very new to Screen Rebels, but looking forward to seeing the works that they produce in the near future.
I'm a low-key investor, mostly with Carnaby Films and Carnaby International Sales and Distribution, but I've also invested in a few smaller ventures. But unfortunately, nothing has really made any return, so I'm slowly running out of money.
It's amazing to see what Screen Rebels are about. It's given me more of an enlightenment. It's opened my eyes to exactly what they do and how they go about it. For me, it's very interesting because to put scripts on the stage and have them seen by the masses is something very different to just having a normal table read through. So I'm very excited, and I'd love to perhaps even collaborate with them in the future. So thank you, Screen Rebels, for inviting me, and of course thank you for Alida for introducing me.
Well, actually, it was my first time I met Screen Rebels and the team. I really enjoyed the event. It was so much fun, and I enjoy meeting everyone and getting to know what the project is about. It's really interesting. I'm looking forward to get involved with that.
Got involved with Screen Rebels probably about 2 years ago when I did one of their showcases. I stepped in to replace an actor who dropped out, but it's actually such a good experience to do, and I think that Kai and Lorenzo have created something that's really fantastic, just in terms of the new writing that comes through. A lot of the scripts are new material. It was always really fun to kind of get that new material, put it on stage, create new characters, new stories, and I'm kind of really excited, I guess, about the future that Screen Rebels actually has, especially now that they're wanting to go to turn those into films. I mean, Lorenzo is a great filmmaker anyway. You've only got to look at the quality of the trailers that he does for the live shows, and you'll actually see the quality of his work. So I'm kind of really excited the fact that they're now going to take that to the next level and actually turn them into fully fledged films. So wishing all the best for the guys, really.
My friend invited me to this amazing event. It's a great opportunity where we can network with other people and have a good time. It's a really relaxed environment. I'm an actress and I just finished my first independent film, Being Grace.
So I did a directing sort of as my focus for my BA, and then I did acting as an MA. So I've actually found that I kind of have tried to incorporate both. If I had a perfect world, I'd do both. Direct theatre and work in film. I think that would be ideal for me. I teach a drama school as well, teach acting on a master's level, and it's so I love, you know, working and collaborating with artists, and then my acting work is much more sort of character based and film based, and it's, yeah, I always like to keep it interesting.
That's something I am really interested in because I love films, I love the film industry, so to be a part of it via that is really interesting for me.
I'm really excited for their future. I think them to move into film production is a natural step, and I think deep down I was kind of hoping for that. So I really hope that Screen Rebels really, you know, take off. We're right behind them, and we'd love to be involved. And yeah, I really think they're on to something. So I hope that we can all help sort of implement that together. But yeah, it's exciting.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, you can see the amount of people that has come today. They do have the support. They have the right support to be a production company to move things forward. So.
Screen, just work, you know. And I hope that they do go on to make some actual movies, which would be fun. But I'll do whatever they ask me. I mean, they are just an amazing group of people, and it's just. You know, it's a pleasure.
I mean, I'd absolutely love, I mean, particularly what Alida was talking about earlier, it's about actually bringing some of these scripts, you know, we've obviously been performing a lot of these scripts as live productions, but also now we're going to properly make them into proper short or feature films, which would be fantastic. And I think because they've got so many really good pieces of writing and fantastic actors who have gone along with it. And brilliant directing, of course, from the organisers and outside too. So I think to have them properly on the screen would be fantastic, and just sort of really getting some sort of a regular sort of export of these amazing films and short films and productions like that. So I'm very optimistic that sort of talk of actually making, and it sounds like a simple point, making films into films, but it's hard to do these days. You know, there are lots of film companies that want to make short films and things like that with very little budget, and it can't really function. So I think something like this, which has made a real name for itself in making these scripts known to industry people and the public, it's a really valuable thing, and I think this is a fantastic next step. And so I'm very optimistic, and I think that there's a lot of good stuff that's going to come from this, for sure.
I think it's a wonderful concept, a great idea, and I'm really hoping it moves on from here.
It's been really good. I think Kai and Lorenzo are brilliant at giving notes, and really, they're so empathetic. They understand your work from your point of view, and they can sort of slip into your mindset and go, right, I see it from that, but still have the subjective view too, and then give you really helpful notes so that you can just improve each draft. And the actors are amazing too. You give them the script and they totally get it, and they can just bring your work to life. So it's been a really positive experience working with them.
Well, I hope they get lots of support and can produce some of these screenplays into full-fledged feature films or short films or whatever, because it's such a talented bunch of people. It just seems like an opportunity gone to waste if we all drift off in separate directions, and you know, we work well together.
To make more friends, because you know the Screen Rebels gang are the best gang in the world. To work with more writers, to gain more experience on camera, and just to have more fun.
I mean, for me personally, like last year when we were at the Phoenix Artists Club, which was a fabulous year of shows. I mean, probably my favourite showcase was the superheroes one.
Yeah,
and,
I'd agree.
You know, I think part of it also is I'm a tremendous geek. You know, I'm a comic book guy. You know, unashamedly, by the way. But more importantly, I think just the way that whole development process and showcase went, it was the best version of our community. quality where everyone was really working together beautifully. And you know, I have just tremendous good memories of just like the partnership and the team spirit in that. And like, you know, yeah, it was so much fun. And I think that was the key thing. We just really enjoyed doing it. And I think it's why everyone's here tonight, is because they love being a part of it.
Well, I just hope, it may sound a little like cheesy, but I really hope that Lorenzo and Kai really see their dreams come true with their project and their vision. It's really nice to see them growing it and taking it to the next level. And I'm really excited to see where it all goes. I really hope they make their vision come to life.
Well, I just hope to make some good connections, that we were fighting for a cause, because this cause is about you know, independent artistry and, you know, just not being quite where everything is given to you. You need to work for it, you need to network, you need to socialize, and everybody has their own agenda.
Just meet some interesting people, make some good contacts, and sort of lay groundwork and networking for the future.
I'd like to see the Tomato, the animated one, on the big screen. I think that has great potential for the big screen. The live action ones, maybe Dickie D in the Devil's Library. You know, it's fun. I think that has all kinds of possibilities and creepy things.
That was a really great piece of writing. That was sort of almost the perspective of some Halloween candy, Halloween sweets and chocolate bars that have just been left in the drawer. And it's their little adventure. It's almost a bit sort of Toy Story-esque, I say, in a sense, but it was an amazing sort of unique kind of perspective. No, really fantastic. I was very lucky to be involved with that as well. And yeah, I mean, I think I can't speak for everyone, but I know for myself, just on top of, underneath everything, it's just such fun. It's really enjoyable to be creating this sort of stuff and to be giving it to people who can receive it and sort of see if there's potential in it. So yeah, you know, underneath it all, it's just a lot of fun, and it means you get to work at what you love, and I think that's everything.
When I was little, I really wanted to be a writer, and so I just pursued it outside of other jobs. I just would compete in writing competitions. Recently, actually, The Forgotten Skeleton, which I wrote for a Screen Rebel Showcase, the Halloween one, that just got chosen as a quarterfinalist with a Blue Cat. It emerged, and it's really nice to see that actually my writing really has improved, and it shows that I'm growing as a person and as a writer, and so it's nice to see that. Yeah, for myself.
Well, for a start, I'm hoping Screen Rebels continues. At its very basic level, it's a community of artists and a family as well. Family, nice word. As a family, especially because, you know, again, it's just like, it's lonely doing this stuff sometimes, all the time actually. So if you're working together, it's so much better, and that's the most important thing. But more importantly, we want to make films. We want our screenplays to go forward and have a life beyond the showcase, and that's what tonight's been all about kind of making that introduction. This is what we're going to do.
Okay, hi, I'm David Hepburn.
I'm Craig McDonald Gellin.
And we are here at Screen Rebels because we're veterans in the Screen Rebels game, aren't we?
I mean, me more than you.
Nope, not the case. I've been in more Screen Rebels than Craig.
I've been in it longer than you.
Craig was in the first one.
First ever.
But I've been in more. Nope, that's a lie. But Screen Rebels have been around for a long time, and it's good. It's a good thing that it has been, isn't it?
It's been fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Gives opportunities for writers, actors, all that stuff. And now me and Craig currently own a film company that seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, we have a bunch of films kicking about. We've made 6 in the past year, which has been phenomenal.
Won awards in the USA and the UK.
Yep. Loads of festivals. 9, 10 festivals.
Coming up to 9 festivals when we go to Southampton.
It's been amazing. And because of Screen Rebels, we're actually developing a film that was actually shown here as a screenplay, which has been amazing.
Yeah, one of the screenplays that I wrote with Philip Catherwood is possibly being turned into a big feature film in Ireland. And then we're also developing our own first feature as writers, me and Craig.
Yeah, it's called Sacrifices. It's based on the kind of Harvey Weinstein scandals.
But it's a horror version. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. So yeah, no, we're here hanging out, getting to know people, networking, and Screen Rebels always puts on a good show, so this is nice.
Well, I'm mainly hoping that people find out about what we do and see whether there are people we can help, because what we're always looking for is filmmakers that have really amazing ideas, but for one reason or another are falling through the net. And that happens all the time in the industry, unfortunately, and we see it from the filmmakers we work with, and we hear about it from the filmmakers that we don't have the opportunity to work with. And whether it's at an early stage with scripts falling through the net because they don't quite get read by the right people, or people's, they don't have that uncle who works in, distribution or works in like early acquisitions for BBC or Channel 4, they don't have that right network at the beginning, and so their stuff doesn't quite get seen by exactly the right people, and then later on they don't again have that right network to get it distributed, to get it seen, to get the right PR people involved. We need to be there to kind of fill in that gap for a lot of people and get the stories that could have the potential to make people really sit up and really engage and really feel quite differently, to make sure that those stories have a chance and an opportunity to do that.
So here I am at this wonderful Screen Rebels event with Alida Pantone, who I've known for many years. I directed her a few times, and she's very talented and very lovely and very vibrant and what's the word? Tenacious. She makes things happen in the industry, which is great. But I've directed Nicole, the wonderful Nicole. I can't remember the surnames. I've got Alzheimer's. What's the surname?
Never mind. Nicole Harvey.
Nicole Harvey, of course it is. Beautiful. In a thing called Wow for Disney, which is still yet to be commissioned. But I've just directed with Rock Salt a war film called 11, about the last 2 hours of the First World War. And a big fat general says, let's give the Germans one last punch on the nose. And they all die, they all go over. It's a true story.
I've just produced a film called A Boy, a Man and a Kite. It's a true story based on the life of a music composer. He's composed on many, many films over the years. It's about child abuse, it's about what happened to him as a child. He ended up going into a coma for 3 months. He had brain cancer. And ultimately, the trauma that he went through as a child was a knock-on effect on his physical health as an adult. So we just finished that film. It's just finished post-production. We've sent it out to as many festivals as we possibly can that we wanted to. Hopefully, we'll see the light of day very, very soon.
I have a horror film coming out called The Young Cannibals. They're having the screening for the cast and crew this next week, actually, so I'll get to see it for the first time. The trailer is out on YouTube and IMDb, and hopefully the trailer already got me a very active agent, so it's I'm being seen for lots of stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah, I've got a few film projects coming up. Chiefly, we're going to be putting on a production chiefly involving sort of one of the first sort of feminist movements, which goes right back to the 1700s, with Mary Wollstonecraft. She was right back before sort of the Pankhursts and sort of the sort of historical initial beginning of the suffragists and the suffragettes. We go right back when the very idea of women having the equal education to men being utterly revolutionary, being like, what? This is unheard of. And these people right back then were largely forgotten. Not just Mary, but also other people within that circle, but chiefly Mary. And that's something we're going to be exploring a lot and bringing that to the stage a lot, and sort of really bringing this life, because she was sadly very sort of slandered a lot because of these memoirs that were brought out, which kind of unearthed a lot of her, at the time, seemingly radical pursuits and lifestyle. But now, in the sort of modern society where we can look upon this at, sort of give it a proper perspective, we're going to bring her to life, and we're going to give her the attention she deserves. So.
I've got my first feature film, Hollywood film coming up, starring along some amazing big names, so yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Starting another project, the sci-fi thriller called Safe Again. I'm in pre-production now, so we're going to start filming in a couple of months.
So we are working on a short film together. Yep. It's called Whispers of Smoke, written by myself, co-written by Nathan. I'm producing, he's directing, and it's about a young girl and her struggle with anxiety after a sudden grief. So we're quite passionate about it from the point of view we really hope it will help people begin a conversation about anxiety and mental health in young people and adults. It's based on a true story as well, based on my story, so it comes from a very personal place. We're just in pre-production, we're crowdfunding, we're raising funds, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very easy to talk about anxiety. It's something that we are also very, I guess, new to talk about. I mean, not to say that it hasn't been around. And I think that this film it's just one of those films that is trying to help bring that conversation to light. And one thing that I must say is that being here at Screen Rebels, I've met some people who have given us great advice in terms of getting our film forward, getting some funding, and just pointing us into the right direction. I think that's what we need, basically.
And just finished a film called Fruity Little Number, which is actually a spoken word piece. I work a lot with spoken word in my directing work. My good friend Sally Riker was 8 months pregnant at the time, and she'd written this poem for her unborn child, who is now born, by the way, and he's gorgeous. And it's basically about him, and we filmed it in Soho in July, and that's it's in the final edit now. Yeah, I've done a lot of filming this year, kind of making my transition from theatre to film. Yeah, it's been really, really good actually. When I first started acting, I did a lot of theatre for a few years, and I really loved it. But I think I'm sort of broadening my skills now and going more into film. And Screen Rebels has really helped me with that. It's given me loads of great contacts that I've kind of stuck with. And what's great about the sort of promo content of Screen Rebels is that it's really given me so much experience and so much skills, so many skills that I can use in my career.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.